Hey everyone, it's Friday, June 19th, 2020. Welcome to episode 17 of the Ginger and the Beard podcast. What's up, guys? It's AJ, aka the Ginger.
And I'm Reese, a.k.a. The Beard.
And if you're just tuning into the stream or you're watching the recorded version of the show, we just got done playing Valorant, so make sure you check out that video on YouTube. On this week's show, we'll be talking about the next UFC Fight Night, which is Curtis Blaydes versus Alexander Volkov. Lots of tech news, including Apple's WWDC event, which is happening next week, and a couple of new video games that we're super excited to talk about.
That's cool, man. But before we dig into all of that, dude, how was your week?
This was a stressful week. Usually I'm like, my week was pretty good. But honestly, man, this was a stressful week. I feel like...
Why?
Well, number one, it was a short week for me because I was off on Monday. So I was coming into the week like, a leg down, you know what I mean? Like I had a lot to do and catch up on. And then today we had a half day, which was actually awesome. It was in observance. Yeah, that's a word, right? Of Juneteenth. That was really cool for the company to recognize that and they gave us a half of a day off. So I had a lot to cram in. I've said this on the show before, but Fridays are always my busiest days of the week. So tons to cram in before the end of the day today, or the end of the half of the day. But a little stressful, but we got there. We made it. We just got done playing some Valorant, so I'm doing much better now. What about you, man? How was your week?
Nice, dude. Finally, it's good. It's good to be here, right? The week's over. Who cares, right? The week is over. We're here now. Played some video games. Got some stuff done around the house. It was rainy. Who cares, man? Work's over. I got a 3 days off ahead of me. I took off on Monday, man. Going to be streaming some Path of Exile. And I got really good news. Finally, dude, my keyboard shipped. Not only did it ship, but it'll be here on Sunday.
No.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Almost
I'm so
6
excited
weeks.
for you.
More than 6 weeks, actually. I ordered it on May 10th. Finally, dude, it will be here. I can't wait. So that's what I got to look forward to, and the skies have
opened.
The sun's coming. The sun's coming through. Life's feeling good. Got that vitamin D in my life, man. Everything's good.
And to top it off, literally, you got a fedora.
I do have a fedora on. Did you just know? I'm just kidding.
It's a good look for you, man. I like it.
I was trying to do something to match this beard and, be a little bit dressier for these. So I think I'm going to start wearing this fedora. It goes with the beard, we'll see.
You need a glass of whiskey and a nice fat cigar.
Well, let me just go. I got one. I mean, I can go get it, but I'm not going to smoke it right now. Yeah, that's the next step. But yeah, man. I'm loving it. I like the fedoras. My wife doesn't like them so much, but I like them, so I'm going to keep doing it. It makes me feel good.
You're married already. You got a ring on it,
Yeah, that's true.
Just kidding. Gentlemen,
she can cringe.
Don't stop trying to impress your wife. Never stop trying to impress your wife.
I see some flowers in my future, as in, I'm buying flowers.
I try to impress my wife all the time, which is why I make a fool of myself and do stupid stuff that I shouldn't do. I'm too old for it, like riding skateboards and I don't know, just being silly.
Trying to show off on those skateboards. Hey, sometimes it probably does. Yeah. All right, let's keep moving on here. So dude, also I want to remind everybody that's watching us right now to please drop a follow on our show here on Twitch. Please like and subscribe on YouTube. Very helpful. Also subscribe on your favorite podcast player. But if you really want to help us grow, a sub on Apple Podcasts plus a 5-star review will go a very long way. That's how we're really going to grow and do what we're striving to do right now. So, and also, we're also on Google now. AJ, the Ginger here, did all this work, and it was painstaking work. We're there. We made it. We're on Google now, so check us out. And as always, guys, gals, we appreciate your support, and we're glad you're here. So,
Yes, absolutely.
with that being said,
Absolutely.
AJ, you want to go ahead and shout out some of these voters and tell us what you're drinking?
Oh, yes, 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 yes. So, for the second week in a row, we put up some polls on our Instagram page over the last couple of days, giving the power to the people, letting you guys influence the beers that we drink on the show. Our supplies are always stocked up, so it's kind of hard for us sometimes to choose which ones we're going to drink. And so we narrowed it down, both of us, to our top two that we wanted to drink on the show. And I just want to shout out the voters. Thank you guys for participating in those polls and helping us make the decision. So the people decided that they would like for me to drink this low pitch juicy IPA. Sorry for the glare. Get out of here, light. From Highwire Brewing. So Highwire Brewing, don't think I've ever had anything from Highwire. I've definitely not had this beer before. They're located in Asheville, North Carolina, Durham, North Carolina, and also Knoxville, Tennessee. So they're kind of scattered out all over the place. And the description they give of the beer is, this thirst-quenching, easy-drinking IPA packs a bright citrus hop punch. Juicy American hops and a light malt bill make low pitch the perfect pairing for sandy shores, mountaintops, or your bestie's birthday party. Shout out to the copywriter there. There's so much alliteration. I like it. But yeah, it's a pretty light IPA. It looks like 4.9% ABV, only 35 IBUs. So we're gonna go ahead and crack this open, give it a shot. I came prepared today also with my official Ginger and the Beard beer glass. If you haven't seen those yet, check that out.
Mine's downstairs. I'm gonna go grab it.
Go, run fast, run fast. Oh, yes. Look at that. Nice and light in color. Smells delicious. Oh, it got a little bit of sediment down there. It's kind of hard to see on the camera. Got a little bit of sediment in there. That's usually a good sign. So let's go ahead and give it a shot. Very good. Easy drinking, like it says in the description. Definitely not too bitter. Honestly, I don't get it's a dry hopped IPA. There's a little bit of dryness, but definitely not overly dry. Like some of those make you, your mouth feel like you just bit into a crab apple or something. But yeah, definitely juicy, very citrusy, and the lingering bitterness really isn't that noticeable. So for you guys that tend to stray away from the IPAs because you don't like that bitterness hanging around in your mouth, this is a good one for you to try out. So shout out Highwire, shout out to the voters. Reese, the Beard, my man, what are you drinking tonight,
wasn't
sir?
it? My wife
You
met me like
swift.
halfway. No, she met me halfway. She was like, "Oh no." So the voters gave me Rogue Marionberry. It's a Marionberry sour, right? Pretty cool looking can. You get to see that it's purple, got the Marionberries on there. Never heard of a Marionberry before this. So
I've known a few Marions in my life, people, but not Marion.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yes.
All right, so Oregon, however you want to say it, tomato, is the birthplace of the Marionberry. It's a big juicy berry, in quotation marks. That's what they call it. Rogue's farm is located just a few miles from the original Marionberry fields. So they felt that it was appropriate for them to go ahead and hit those hometown roots, find some good sources of new flavors, and they found the Marionberry. So they describe this as being brewed to highlight the tart side of the Marionberry and natural sweetness of the Marionberry. So
All right.
I'm going to go ahead and pour it out, man. It's 6.5 ABV, 5 IBUs, so kind of like middle of the road, I feel like.
All right.
Yeah, not
Nice,
bad, right?
yeah. It's a
Let me
big
hit you with
16
this.
ouncer too.
Oh my! I'm gonna be falling out of my seat by the end of this thing, man.
Now this
There
is
you
supposed
go.
to be a 16 ounce glass, so we're gonna see. Like, can you fit that entire can in that glass?
Hold on
I
now.
don't know. Oh, it's gonna be too much head.
Good thing I'm getting a new keyboard.
Did it spill over?
No, not yet.
Oh, whew, whew.
Well, I think
We've
we
already
got
had
this. All
we've
right,
already
I think
had
we're
one
gonna.
keyboard.
There's a little splash still in there, in the can.
Wow, look at that.
Like no head. The head. Did you see how fast the head went away? Wow.
It just dissipated like nothing. Yeah, that's crazy. I like that color, man. It's like a grape juice.
You know what? It kind of tastes like grape juice, actually.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it does taste like grape juice a little bit. It is tart. It is definitely tart.
Uh-huh.
Not a big fan of that part. There is some sweetness from the grape juice, though. It really feels like I'm drinking like Welch's. You know, an alcoholic Welch's. You know, shout out to Welch's, I guess. Grape grapefruit, grape juice. That's what I meant.
Man, I'm trying to remember Welch's marketing slogan now. It's like I can almost reach it in my brain. I can remember it as a kid.
Oh,
Oh,
I know the little
man.
girl that like would pop her lips. She'd be like,
Oh, man. I have
Welch's.
to look it up. Anyways. Oh, man.
Right,
That
so
it looks delicious, man.
yeah, it looks good. It's okay. Like it's leaving a bad after flavor for me. Um, up front is nice. It's got a nice feel on the tongue. Sweet, but it's like got this like lasting little tartness. So, you know, not my favorite. You know, but it's an interesting experience. I just don't know if I would like to eat a Marionberry though. You know. So, hey,
Yeah.
that's
What's
it,
the
guys.
Mary and
That's
Berry jam?
we got a little yeah, we got a little bit of beer news though.
All right.
So
All right.
let's move right on. National Independent Beer Run Day. Beer Run, BWERUN, Beer Run. You know that song? Anyway,
No, but it sounds good.
it returns on July 3rd. I don't know where it went, but I don't think it was around last year, I guess. Sorry.
You caught me mid sip on that one.
My
Almost
bad,
spewed
dude.
onto the keyboard.
Oh no, almost ruined it again. That one would have been my fault. All right, so
That
returns on July 3rd, just the day before Independence Day. I don't know why they said that it returns, but it was here last year, and they had one of the best craft beer sales. What is so funny?
That's just something that cracks me up. I don't know why. It actually reminds
Okay.
me of a joke, like one of my dad's dad jokes. Whenever I was a kid, and I'd be like, I'm looking for him in the house. I'm like, oh, I found you. He's like, I didn't know I was lost, but okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, you
just
gonna
like,
go take a shower? Yeah, where are you gonna take it?
Yeah, classic dads.
Classic. Okay. I gotta run. Oh, where you running to? You know, just anyway. All right.
Oh, good.
So, the day before Independence Day, one of the best record-setting beer sales days in America. America, we drink beer. Anyway, they encourage beer lovers across America to support small and independent breweries. Purchasing independent craft beer in anticipation of Independence Day celebrations helps to fuel craft breweries at a time when they need it most. Certainly during this COVID-19 pandemic, they need some help. And when many are just reopening, especially when many are, a couple are just reopening, when many are just reopening. So I plan on doing my part. I suggest you all do your part. We're going to post a link in the description. You could visit Beer Run Day, just like that.com, beerrunday.com to learn more and to also find an independent brewery in your area. So, guys, get
Yeah,
out
man.
there July 3rd. Drink some beer. Have a good time. Support your local community and craft breweries.
What is that? I wonder what day of the week that is. July 3rd. I feel like we should get an excuse to like leave work for a couple hours to go make a beer run.
I feel like I'm just gonna take that day. I'm gonna take that day off anyway. It's Friday.
There you go.
It's Friday.
Yeah, I like that idea, man. Just everything you can do to support your local craft breweries is, definitely a step in the right direction. I'm glad to see those guys starting to open back up. You know, it's exciting.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been to I think just one since this whole thing started kind of opening back up. Farmhouse, of course, my favorite local brewery. And yeah,
Nice.
it's just good. It feels good to be out there again and just supporting a local business.
Yeah, we got a couple near us. I think we'll hit that day. Unless we might be traveling. We might be traveling though, to see family. But regardless, we'll get out there. We'll support. We'll do what we got to do.
Yes,
so,
definitely.
Good sir, that was the beer news. I think that brings us. I think that brings us to the end of beer news, and that leads us into some UFC shenanigans. Are you ready to talk about it?
Super ready. But before we transition, I just want to say, what are you guys drinking? We want to hear what you guys are drinking. Leave us a comment on YouTube. Send us a message on Twitter and on Instagram. We need recommendations. We need help finding and discovering the most delicious of delicious beers out there. So hit us with those recommendations, and now we can transition.
Yes, dude. Let's do it.
Hey, we're back. Hello. Woo! It's that time. UFC shenanigans.
Our favorite time.
Oh, wait. We forgot something in our last segment.
Did we? What did we forget?
We can cut this out in post, but we forgot to take our Instagram picture. Thank you,
dude.
for that
come on.
reminder.
Let's do it. Let's do it real quick.
Oh, yeah. We got to get this. This is very important.
Do this real quick. Boom.
Yeah. Get it? I think we got it.
I feel like I didn't smile enough. Can we do it again?
Oh, yeah. Here we go. All right. 3, 2, 1.
Nice. All right. I felt better about that one.
Man, thank
you.
Do it for the gram. For that reminder.
Beerstagram.
There we go. All right. So UFC shenanigans. The time is now. I'm excited to talk about this. So we've got a fight night coming up tomorrow, June 20th. Another one at the Apex facility. This time headlined by Curtis Blaydes and Alexander Volkov, two heavyweight monsters, ranked fighters.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean the whole card's going to be exciting. A lot of people that not really familiar with, but there are a few for sure that I'm especially excited about. So I'm gonna kind of take us through these. Two of them actually are on the prelim card, which I think is interesting. So the first one is Roxanne Modafferi versus Roxanne, you don't have to put up the red light. That how it goes? Love it. Versus Barb Honchak. So it's actually a rematch. They fought originally in 2018, and I'm pretty familiar with Roxanne because I first saw her on one of the seasons, whichever season she was on for the Ultimate Fighter, and she's just a very interesting character. Like she seems like this very I don't know how else to put this, but just nerdy, I guess. Like she's got these glasses on, and she's very smart and not something that you would picture being a UFC fighter, but that's the kind of cool thing about the sport. She's I think a Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt, I believe, but I had to confirm that. But very high level ground game. She's defeated Macy Barber and Antonina Shevchenko, so she's got some names under her belt, and she's currently ranked number 6, sorry. And so she's fighting against number 7 in Honchak. So yeah, I'm excited to see this. It's gonna be a good fight. Have you seen either of these ladies fight before?
Yeah. So Roxanne Modafferi, dude, she was underrated, right? Her last fight, they were like, oh yeah, she's, dude, the odds were so stacked against her for some reason. I'm pretty sure she was negative, or positive anyway, 500 or something like that, where if she won, you would win $500, which is insane. And then she came out and dominated. And everyone was like, no way. I didn't realize she's 37 years old too, right? So for her to be kind of coming onto the scene right now is very interesting. Essentially, she's probably just very experienced at this point in her life with fighting, and she's strong future for her.
Yeah, very intelligent and a lot of fun to watch. So that's number 1 on the prelim card. Number 2 is a guy you probably all have heard of, Clay Guida versus Bobby Green. So I was looking into this before the show. Clay Guida has been fighting in the UFC since 2006. I think his debut was like UFC 20 something. That might be wrong, but 14 years. This guy has had a lot of major fights under his belt, and it looks like the Beard's pulling up a video right now that we're gonna let you guys check out. He's beat Nate Diaz in '09. He beat Rafael dos Anjos in 2010. He beat Anthony Pettis in 2011. And most recently, he beat BJ Penn in 2019. And that's actually what you're seeing right here, is his post-fight interview after defeating BJ Penn in a 3-round decision.
I don't know how to get these things to clear off of this, honestly.
That's okay. Yeah, some pop-ups kind of in the way, but really the reason we're showing this video is like Clay's so exciting to watch because he like seemingly never runs out of energy. He's got an unlimited supply of energy. Even after going 3 rounds, going the distance, this dude is like hopping around constantly in the post-fight interview. So it's just so fun to watch him. And his fight style is like kind of manic and like he's all over the place, and he's got this like long hair just swinging around everywhere. It's all sweaty and gross, and you're just look at him bouncing around right now.
Yeah.
He just can't hold himself still, and he's just a very humble guy and very respectful individual in the sport. So really looking forward to that one. Bobby Green, on the other hand, I've actually not really heard much about Bobby Green, and I didn't really see any major fights under his belt. So yeah, I'm excited to. Neither of these guys are ranked right now, so I'm excited to see how that goes.
So, I don't know if you've ever heard of like the gateway fighters, right? So Clay Guida's like he kind of like falls in that area where he's a gateway fighter. Some people think that that's like a diss or whatnot, but it's like he's very entertaining. It's just that he's never made it to the top. So
Yep.
he's got his purpose, right? He's a hard fighter. It's just that he's never been the best, and we're not sure if he'll ever be the best. Certainly at his age now, but he's always exciting to watch. And
So fun.
Bobby Green, we'll see how this goes. I don't know much about Bobby. Maybe we'll learn some more about him soon.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine if today Clay Guida ran through Nate Diaz, Rafael dos Anjos, Anthony Pettis, and BJ? BJ Penn's kind of at this point obviously past his prime, but those 3 guys, if he ran through those guys in 2019, 2020, he absolutely would be at the top of the rankings. But yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, dude, he beat 3 champions. He beat all those champions, but he never got the belt himself. Isn't that crazy?
So crazy. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So up next, the co-main I'm excited about, Josh Emmett versus Shane Burgos. So Josh Emmett, not a ton of fights in the UFC thus far. He's got a couple of losses and a few wins, but he's ranked currently number 8 in the flyweight division. He trains Team Alpha Male with Cody Garbrandt, Uriah Faber, and he's got a couple of wins under his belt. He beat Michael Johnson, but he did lose pretty substantially last year to Jeremy Stevens. I believe it was 2019. I think Jeremy Stevens broke his orbital bone and KO'd him. But Josh Emmett himself throws some bombs, man. He's got heavy hands for the featherweight division, and he's huge for that division. If you look at some of the pictures, he's massive for that division.
Yeah, dude. Definitely.
So I'm excited about that. Shane Burgos, I'm not super familiar with him, to be honest with you guys, but he's currently ranked number 10. He hasn't had a lot of high-profile UFC fights, but his probably most high-profile, as I was looking back through it, he does have a win over Cub Swanson. So if you can box with Cub Swanson, then you earn some respect in my book.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Shane Burgos was undefeated until recently. So I think these 2 guys fighting each other is really kind of like one of those middle of the road type of fights to see, who's going to move on and maybe become a contender. If Shane Burgos can win this fight, then, he's going to come in and fight some more testing opponents very soon.
Yep.
Josh Emmett as well. Like let's just see where this goes with these guys. Whoever wins, give them somebody in the top 5 and let's see what happens.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, if you look at the featherweight division, it's a pretty stacked. I mean, next to bantamweight division, that's probably one of the more stacked divisions out there right now. So no matter who wins this fight, they've got some climbing to do. I mean, you've got Calvin Kattar at number 6, Yair Rodriguez at number 5, Chan Sung Jung at number 4, Zabit at 3, Brian Ortega's up there. I didn't even realize Brian Ortega was up at number 2. And then, of course, you got the fight coming up in a few weeks, Volkanovski rematch with Max Holloway. So it's a pretty stacked division.
Man, that's a tough one, dude. Now that you read those names off, I was like, yeah, that's gonna be tough. If those guys, I'd be surprised if either of those could get past Yair, man. Any of those guys in the top 5 right now could be fighting for in my opinion, they could be fighting for the championship, dude. They're all very good fighters.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Brian Ortega hasn't fought in a while. I'm not sure why he's still ranked number 2. I want to see him fight Zabit.
Doesn't he have a fight coming up, actually? Sorry, we're getting a little off track here, but I feel like he's got a fight coming up, or maybe he had just recently fought. I'm wrong. Yeah, he hasn't fought since 2018, so not really sure why he's up there.
I don't know either. Like, it's been a long time. Yeah, that's weird.
Could just be the name. He's got a great. He's popular.
Yep.
But all right, so let's go ahead now talk about the main event. So as we mentioned at the top of the segment, Curtis Blaydes, number 3 heavyweight, versus Alexander Volkov, number 7 heavyweight. So do you have any initial thoughts on this before we start diving into some of the research we got here?
Oh, okay. So like my money's on Curtis for sure here. I've seen what Curtis has done recently and how far he's come in his knowledge, fight IQ, skill set. First off, he's got an amazing ground game, amazing ability to take people down. He's a grappler at heart, but he's been working on his striking so much. So I think that his skill set's going to beat Alexander. I know Alexander is a striker mostly, a kicker. You probably know a little bit more about him, but in my opinion, I think Curtis is going to be able to take him down and, just kind of control the match and it's probably going to go to decision for Curtis. I think. I don't think anyone's getting knocked out in this one.
Oh, really? Yeah. That's kind of where I disagree with you. I think that it is going to be a stoppage. Curtis Blaydes, I think, will get the stoppage just based on his background and some of the fights we've seen in the past. But Alexander has definitely proven to be durable, 100%. So that'll be interesting to see. It's funny. Blaydes,
good point.
He actually tweeted. I think it was yesterday. He said, "If you guys are coming here to watch a 25-minute boxing match, you might as well not tune in because I plan on just taking the guy out in the
stopping him,
something along those lines." Yeah,
we'll see, man. Alexander's he's a veteran dude, and he did get knocked out by the Black Beast, but that's a different story,
Yeah, exactly. So let's look back. So Curtis Blaydes, he's got a few big names under his belt at this point. He beat Junior Dos Santos by stoppage, Mark Hunt in a decision, and one of his most gruesome stoppages was against Alistair Overeem. I should have dropped a link here to that video, but it was a brutal ground and pound, just raining elbows straight to the forehead of Alistair Overeem until there was like multiple cuts and blood everywhere. That was a stoppage. Alexei Olenek, which we know is a freaking monster, he's got a win over him. Also a KO, I believe. I was reading something that it might have been a controversial call, but I couldn't actually find like a video to check into it. But he's only got 2 losses right now, and both of those are to our man Francis Ngannou. So one of those being a doctor's stoppage.
Yeah, the first one, right?
Yeah, his first fight with him was his eye got swollen up and they had to call it. So, yeah, pretty crazy.
Yeah, man. I'm pretty impressed by Curtis Blaydes, dude. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I always felt like he could be a title contender.
He's almost there.
Yeah.
I would love to see a three-peat with Ngannou and see what happens. I actually think Ngannou deserves a title shot at this point. I don't think he should get another fight until it's a title shot, but who knows how that'll actually go down. But that's not to...
he's the stand-in for the Cormier versus Miocic fight, right? Dana announced it earlier this week. Ngannou's going to be he's going to be the stand-in If either of those guys can't make the fight, then he's fighting.
Okay. Okay. Well, I doubt either of them will miss that fight, but if something does happen,
Yeah.
that would be interesting.
You never know. You never know.
Yeah, you never know. Definitely not. So let's not discredit Volkov though. Like you said, he's got a great stand-up game. He's actually one of only a couple who's stopped Greg Hardy in a decision, but he put an end to Greg Hardy's kind of streak there recently. He's got a pretty nasty KO over Fabricio Verdum and a stoppage win over Stefan Struve, the big tall guy.
Yep.
Actually, both these guys are pretty tall. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think I kind of agree with you. I think, like we said, I think it's going to be. I personally think it'll be a stoppage. I'm not sure which round it'll be, but Curtis Blaydes, I think, is going to take the W. But I was looking into Volkov. He's a brown belt in BJJ. So I mean, if it does go to the ground, just his length, he's got like a few inches height advantage, maybe like 5 inches. I have to look back, but if he gets it to the ground, like he'll have the leverage if he can use his jiu-jitsu. So that could be interesting.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. A brown belt against a good grappler like Curtis, though. Like I said at the start, I think Curtis is going to win. I'll be surprised if he loses. Credit to Volkov. He's a vet, man. He's experienced and whatnot. But yeah, I think Curtis is safe up there. This whole heavyweight division is just like stuck in the mud. They need to get this thing moving, dude. Get Stipe out if he's not going to fight, and Cormier needs to retire. Come on now. Let's move on.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about this before. I don't really know that they should have given DC the fight. I mean, again, it all comes back to the story, what's going to bring in the most sales. So we all know how that plays out. But so we've got some other news about a different Alexander, right?
Yeah, so Alexander Volkanovski, who is the featherweight champ, he's actually going to be fighting, defending his belt, which he recently won from Max Holloway. He's going to be fighting in the rematch with Max Holloway very soon. I was like, that doesn't sound right. Holloway very soon. Let's see if Max can get his belt back. But from the first performance, man, Alexander's looking pretty good. So here's the news. He's interested in a fight with Khabib Nurmagomedov. So I'm going to read a quote. This is a quote that straight from his lips. He says, "I don't like people chasing other divisions, but," and it's intended that he's talking about Nurmagomedov is definitely an option. Volkanovski told The Score recently, "Right now, I've got a belt to defend, and then there's probably going to be number one contender after that. But I mean, early next year, if something comes to me like that fight, I'll have to take it." So early next year, he's saying if he can get through Max and the number one contender, he's going to move up in weight, and he's going to see if he can, shoot the eagle out of the sky. Khabib's the eagle.
Just to be clear here.
Just to be clear. Sorry. So you guys get that reference, okay?
Not just a random eagle, guys. Okay, we don't condone that.
Yeah, that's actually illegal. So what do you think about that, dude?
Honestly, I don't see UFC doing that. To be honest, there's too many big fights to be made in the lightweight division already, and honestly, I don't think Volkanovski has the name yet to draw the kind of crowd that the UFC is going to want for a Khabib fight. I mean, look at the lightweight division. You've got Justin Gaethje, currently the interim, so obviously he's getting the first stab at Khabib. I think that's going to be in September. So he's got to recover after that. I mean, Justin Gaethje might knock him off his throne already. We never know.
That's true.
You've got Ferguson. You've got Dustin Poirier. You've got, of course, Conor McGregor. There's just so many big fights to be made there. I 100% see the UFC trying to make McGregor versus Khabib happen, even though McGregor has retired for the 16th time. So I don't think that it's going to happen, to be honest with you. But if it does happen, that would be interesting. We were talking before the show, and apparently Alexander, because I was like, wait, how many weight class difference is there between these guys? And you were telling me that back in his rugby days, Alexander was, did you say 205?
Yeah, man.
Walking around
I think he was actually heavier than that, but he was He was a short, stocky, beefy rugby player.
That's crazy. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, if
And
he's 205, he's light heavyweight.
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So think about it. I mean, he's only 10 pounds away from Khabib. I'm pretty sure they walk around at the same weight. Like, it's not that big of a jump, man. I don't think you're giving Alexander a lot of credit, though, dude. I feel like you're down counting him. I think that, the UFC hasn't really marketed to him yet. I think he's marketable. He's a good-looking guy. He's good at speaking. Doesn't back down, I think if he beats Holloway again, dude, they're gonna start marketing him, and that's the fucking super fight. Screw Connor, dude. Screw Connor, man. He's just wasting all our time. He wants the limelight. He always wants the limelight. I mean, yeah, he's a good fighter and all, but dude, I'm sick of that stuff, dude. Give me a good legitimate fight. I want to see the Justin Gaethje versus Khabib,
Oh yeah.
and then, I want to see some serious fights after that. So if Volkanovski is the fight, I want to see it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mean to discredit Alexander. I mean, I think he's got the skill. I definitely think he could do it. I mean, we saw what he did to Max Holloway. He just completely pieced him up. I just don't think, like you said, they haven't put the marketing behind him yet. So I don't know if it would draw in the same crowd as somebody else.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I could be wrong. I do think he's got the skill to take it there. So that would
No,
be very
I see your
interesting.
point though. It's all about money here, right? So
It's all about
they're-
money. Yeah.
they would
can-
probably do the Tony fight before Volkanovski. So
They can-
we'll see.
Well, they'll try. They'll try again for the 6th time. That's
The
not an exaggeration. Literally the 6th
20
time.
It'll be 20 years from now before we see that fight. they'll be in wheelchairs and shit.
Exactly.
Oh, man. Yeah. Well,
All right. Well, I think that wraps up the UFC shenanigans section.
Yeah,
Shall we
man.
move on?
let's talk about some tech. I'm going to go ahead and hit us with that
Yes.
sweet transition. We'll be right back. Hey, and we're back. Time to talk about some tech news. So, AJ, what's going on in the world right now? What do we got to look forward to?
I was like, at first thinking, I was like, this is kind of a quiet week. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. Next week, there's some major stuff happening. So, WWDC, we talked about this on one of our first episodes of the podcast, it stands for Worldwide Developers Conference. It's an event put on by Apple, and they traditionally hold this in California, but we talked about this early on in our days of podcasting, like we've been doing this forever, because it was transitioned to become a digital event because of coronavirus. So the time has finally come. June is here. Usually this happens early June, but they've pushed it back to late June because of the coronavirus. It's going to be a completely digital event, but like it sounds like in the name of the event, this is a developers conference. So historically, this is where all the developers come together. You have to pay to attend the event, and the developers spend about I think 3 or 4 days at this conference, and they get to see some of the stuff that Apple's working on. They get to start making plans for their apps and for their integrations and things like that to make sure they're up to Apple's different standards and whatnot, and also where Apple has historically announced different software. So they usually kick off the event with I don't want to say consumer facing, but it really is for like the tech industry. They start to announce the newest iOS versions, the newest Mac OS, iPad OS, Watch OS, all the OSs. And you kind of get a sneak peek at what's to come in those later versions, which usually release after the event, I believe. I could be wrong on that.
Okay. Like immediately?
But, yeah, I think they usually announce them, and I think they come out they start to roll out those updates not long after the actual event. But in the past couple of years, Apple has taken WWDC as an opportunity to announce hardware as well, because their hardware events usually used to be in September exclusively, where they would announce the new iPhones, new MacBooks, all that stuff. But because there was so much to talk about, I think they began to kind of split that out into multiple events. They took WWDC as an opportunity to do that. And this year, next week, is expected to be the same. There's some rumors, some expectations. We don't have any confirmation yet, of course. But here's what we're thinking we might hear about next week at WWDC. Number one is more information, more plans on Apple's plan to shift from Intel-based chips to their proprietary ARM-based Apple-designed chips. So right now, Apple manufactures the chips that are in the iPhones and in the iPad and in their watch, but they don't manufacture the chips that are in their computers. Those are still Intel chips. This rumor has been circulating for not many years, but the last couple of years. And it seems like this is going to be the year where we actually learn what the official plan is. And then next year is rumored to be the year where they actually release a MacBook or some Mac hardware that uses their ARM-based chips. So you might be asking yourself, why switch from Intel? They've been using Intel for many years. Why are they making the switch? Well, number one, the benefits would be a faster CPU and less power consumption. Those are the technical benefits. But let's be honest, Apple's a business. They want to own the full stack, right? Like if they can manufacture their own chips, they don't have to pay somebody else to license their chips.
Right.
And they can also drive down, or drive up the supply, the demand. They can control that entire supply chain. And it's been not an issue, but it's been kind of a problem for power users who are trying to get the latest and greatest. Usually the brand new MacBooks come with last gen Intel CPUs. So if you're a guy or girl who wants to pick up a laptop that's got the latest and greatest, most powerful CPU, Mac's not the way to go for you, because the brand new MacBooks that come out usually have last gen CPUs. Okay, so Apple, I guess, doesn't want to keep going in that route, so they want to have manufacture their own chips, so that way when they release their new MacBooks or new Macs, they have the latest and greatest Apple CPUs. So more to come on that. Like I said, hopefully next week we learn what is the official rollout plan. It's not so much a question of if they're going to do that, but really when are they going to do that.
Wow. Okay. That's exciting stuff.
Yeah,
I don't think I'm going to... Go ahead.
I was going to say, can you imagine being Intel right now? I would literally be pooping
hurt.
my pants. Yo, my gosh, dude, can you imagine the hit they're going to take?
Oh, dude, they're trying to negotiate with them, lower the prices, do whatever they can to try and get that business back. Because think about it, man. That's a lot. That's a lot of money. Everybody, half the world uses it. So
exactly, yeah. I wouldn't say that Apple's probably their biggest customer. I mean, you think about HP and Dell and folks like that who probably make a lot more computers just from the kind of enterprise perspective. But still, Apple's a huge chunk of their revenue, 100%.
Dude, so I mean, it's faster though? Like they've proven it with benchmarking and all that.
I mean, not really. I think that's just the rumor, because there aren't any. These chips aren't in the wild yet. But that's the rumor, that they'll have better performance. I mean, every year the MacBooks get slimmer. Well, that's not true. The latest MacBook they released was slightly thicker, but they try to maintain such a low profile that it's rumored that Apple has done something. Their engineers have figured out a way to make the chip use less power but be more powerful. So still to be seen, like we said.
So I'm just going to be the, devil's advocate and say that I'm skeptical, right? Because think about it, Intel's been doing this for a really long time, and they've probably worked out bugs and any hardware issues, right? And so for Mac to come out and try and, produce something out of their own, produce something themselves with maybe not as much experience in that realm. I mean, I'm sure they've got experience in the hardware, area. Come on, they produce all kinds of stuff, but for this, specifically, I don't know. I would say I wouldn't invest in it immediately. I would probably give them 4 to 6 months to work out the kinks, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it'll be interesting. I would love to see the benchmarks when they come out, but we do have to keep in mind that they also do manufacture the chips that are inside of these bad boys, right? So
You know
they've
what?
been making the chips inside of this, and also
Yeah.
the iPad Pro, which continues to get more and more powerful and such as a low profile. So I mean, they've got the CPU, they've got the engineering background, but to your point, yes, the laptop size CPUs. Still much to be seen before you kind of and to be honest with you, man, I'm a MacBook user. I use a MacBook for work. I use a personal MacBook. I am not impressed by the performance of the MacBook Pros. I've been let down many a times by the CPU processing power on these machines. And to be fair, I don't have the most specced out models, but for something to be called pro, I've had many of a case where it's definitely not the case, not true. And a perfect example is just exporting some clips for our last show on my MacBook versus my gaming PC, which has an AMD CPU. And I built the entire PC for less than $800. My MacBook Pro, which is worth about $1,400. Exporting a video from Premiere would take exporting a 10-minute video from Premiere on my MacBook would probably take about 5 minutes. On my gaming PC with the AMD CPU, again, much less expensive, did it in 30 seconds. So
Wow. Okay.
yeah, exactly.
I mean,
so
the proof's in the pudding, right? But
exactly.
so good for them, though. They're trying to leverage some technology that they already have to expand into another realm. But I'm gonna keep my skeptical stance. I think that they're gonna have to put some hard work in, to get on the same page as Intel or AMD.
For sure.
I love my computer, man. I got an Asus. I'm sorry, not Asus. I have an Intel CPU, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Just like you said, it's so fast, smooth. I have an Asus motherboard. That's why I said that. But yeah, very cool, dude. Very cool.
Yep, good stuff. So, last but not least for WWDC, what we're looking for and we're expecting is, like I said, obviously a new iOS version. So, iOS, if you guys don't know, is the operating system for the iPhones. And it's not for the iPads anymore. That's now called iPad OS. So, anyways, a couple interesting things. There's a lot of rumors about what could potentially be in the new iOS 14. But what stuck out to me is that there may be a new AR app coming in iOS 14. Ooh. So a native AR app in iPhone, which it sounds like, as I read up on
nice.
it, would be used to give users more information about certain things. But from what I read, and which is there's more to learn here, it sounds like it may require the use of a proprietary Apple QR code. So, not sure what to make of that yet.
QR codes? Come on.
Yeah, but I mean, Apple's definitely been making some advancements in the AR space with some of their games and their game engine and things like that on the phone. So, interested in seeing what that could be about. Next is a messages update. So, iMessage, if you've never used an iPhone before, that's typically what locks people into using iPhones. Is the text messaging interface is so far superior when you're messaging other iPhone users. But they're introducing a new feature, it sounds like, the ability to retract messages. So let's just say you get in. Let's just say we're both married men, Reese.
Don't go there.
Let's just say you get into an argument with your significant other. Let's just switch the subject with your parents maybe, and you say something.
Let's say you sent a bad email to your coworker.
Yeah, there you go. Let's just say you say something that you regret. Or we can even be more innocent, I guess. If you send something with a typo in it, it sounds like there's going to be an ability to retract a message. If you have second thoughts about what you've said, or you want to fix a mistake in your grammar, you may have the ability to retract messages. Obviously, we don't really know the parameters around that. There could be a time delay. This isn't really new technology. Gmail has the ability to retract emails you send, and really all it is in the background is a delayed send. You can set your Gmail to, if you send an email, there's an undo button for up to 2 minutes or a minute or something like that. Really all it's doing in the background is waiting a minute to actually send the email so that if you change your mind, you can hit the undo button. It's not that fancy. So, and then a couple other things. There's a new fitness app that's rumored. Woohoo, I guess. I mean, there's like 1,000 fitness apps on the market, but Apple's making one. Cool stuff. And then
All right.
lastly, this is revolutionary for iPhone users. I've been on both sides of the spectrum. I've been an Android user and an iPhone user, but rumors suggest there may be movable widgets on your screen. You may be able to move a widget to where you would like it to live on your screen of your device rather
I'm so
than in
excited
its
about this.
widget spot. Okay, groundbreaking stuff here, guys. And last but not least, a list view for apps.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Are
Apple's
we in
coming
the
out with
20s? Is this the year 2020 right now?
Welcome to 2020, folks.
Wow. We
iPhones
made
will
it.
now have an app drawer. Can you believe that? An app
can't.
drawer for iPhones. Wow, we've really made it, guys. So
You mean
okay.
that you're not going to be stuck to the standard iPhone format that's been around for like 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, my app grid is no longer going to be a grid. I can move things. I can actually do what I would like to do with my phone. Wow, so cool.
Wow.
All right,
Okay.
sarcasm aside, I'm excited for the event. We'll see what happens. I'm sure we'll talk about it in the next episode. But for now, I think we should move on. What else do we have in the world of tech, Mr. Beard?
You know, I think I was supposed to show an image while you were going through all that.
Oh yeah, I
Wasn't
skipped
I?
over something, but
I'm going to just show
Yeah.
the image real quick so you guys can see it. This is the well, you say it. It's the iPac, right?
or no. So this is actually the new rumored. This is actually a mock-up from Mac Rumors, but there is rumored to be a new iMac announced at the event, which could feature a more iPad Pro-like design language. If you've
Okay.
never held an iPad Pro recently, it's got more chamfered edges, like it's flat on the sides versus a curve, which the old iPhones had. So the mock-up that they're showing here is essentially an enlarged iPad with those flat edges and the speaker grills on the side of the device. This is a completely mock-up, but rumors suggest that the new iMac will have much smaller bezels around the screen and a refined design. So that's really all there is to say about that so far.
Cool. All right. So I'm going to take us into our next topic. That's all very interesting. I don't think it's going to, I want to learn more. You're the guy that knows everything about Macs. I feel like I don't know anything about Macs. So, maybe I need to learn some more because there might be an area in my life where I could actually use one someday, but I gotta wait and find out. So,
For sure.
moving on. Tesla, guys. I'm going to talk about Tesla for a little bit, kind of briefly. Tesla's solar panels are now more efficient and affordable. So let me go ahead and just show you a picture, right? So here's a standard, mid to large size house. You got a big old, solar panel on there. And so let me tell you something. Tesla rated its medium-sized panels a year or so ago at 7.56 kilowatts, and it was priced at $19,500 before federal incentives. It has now just recently come out and increased its rating to 8.16 kilowatts, so that's almost half a kilowatt better at storing and capturing energy from the sun. But what's even better than that is it's only $16,000 now before federal incentives. So that means you're getting a better product and you're saving $3,500. That's pretty awesome. So that bump in efficiency combined with an over 17% price drop, they're hoping that's going to convince you and I both to make the jump to solar power. I certainly would love to. It's still a pretty hefty investment for somebody that's a little bit on the younger side, still trying to get established and whatnot. But I went ahead and checked it out. I priced my own house, and looked at the federal incentives as well, which I'll explain here in a second. And it said that I would be able to buy it for $11,000, right around $11,000. So that's That's about $5,000 less than the base, 33% off, essentially. And they explained that it would save me $18,000 over a 25-year period. So quite the investment. Quite the investment, as long as nothing goes wrong. I haven't looked into the warranty information yet, but I will link. I will provide a link in the description so that you guys can head there and price it out yourselves. Maybe you're interested. I certainly am. So I think you guys should be too. Let's go green, right? Let's save the world one step at a time. You know, it's all our individual responsibility to get that done. That being said, I want to also tell you about the incentives real quick, and then AJ, I want to get your opinion on all of this. So a solar PV system must be installed before December 31st, 2019, so that's already passed, to claim a 30% credit. It'll be decreased to 26%, so that's where it is right now, if the system is installed in 2020, and to 22% for systems installed in 2021. So if you want to take full advantage, well, you know, as much advantage as you can get right now, get it now. You know, it's going to go away, I think, after 2021. The tax credit expires starting in 2022 unless Congress renews it. So it's probably going to go away. And there's no maximum amount that can be claimed. So, you know, get out there and do your best. You know, install. Save the planet. AJ, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I mean, if it wasn't such a giant investment up front, I think it would be very worthwhile. But I think there is like financing available for these sorts of things. But the tax credit long term obviously is a money saver, and the energy you're not using provided by the city is another money saver. So, I mean, you know, if you have to calculate it up on your own and figure out how much power you use, I guess you can get that information probably from the city. On a monthly basis and figure up your finances that way. It might be worth it for some people. I'm not really sure. But yeah, I mean, I think it would just, number one, be super cool to make a move towards a greener environment, and also have something Tesla branded attached to your house.
That'd be cool. Good point about the financing. They do offer financing. It looks like it's through their site as well. So, you know, that's always an option if you guys don't have the capital up front. You know, take a loan from them and get it done. I certainly want to look into it a little bit more.
Help Elon fund his Tesla Roadster. Why don't you?
Help him get to Mars. That's where he wants to be.
Yeah, exactly.
He's going to Mars someday. All right, so, you know, make sure to check that out. I'm going to move on into my next subject here. Guys, Google's new Chrome extension. Check this out. This is kind of cool if you're a dork like me or a nerd like me. Google's got a new Chrome extension. It lets you link directly to specific text on a page. I'm definitely going to provide a link to this extension. Guys, just go grab it. Go check it out. It's a new Chrome extension for Google. Lets you generate URLs to specific text on a web page regardless of the page's formatting. Pretty darn cool. Text fragments are a small but useful piece of functionality that makes it easier to find specific information on a web page. So they're using text fragments, basically. This tool is using these text fragments to get you back to where it needs to go. I will say a couple things, though. Firefox, Internet Explorer they're not playing nice right now. So it's not working on them. It's not working if you're using them. You got to kind of go through Chrome to get it to work. And it's still a little bit buggy. They're working out the kinks. Sometimes it doesn't work all the time. So give them a chance. You know, try it out though. See if you like it. I mean, yeah. I will say I know some people use like AOL still. So like, it hurts me. My heart. Oh, my heart.
It's like the older folks in our lives. Like you get like a web browser provided with your like ISP. So like CenturyLink, for instance, was an ISP in my hometown. It's like, what browser do you use? I use the CenturyLink browser. I'm like,
oh my gosh.
The what?
No.
What browser? That's like using Verizon's built-in app on your Android phone to search the web. Like,
that's
what?
So bad. That's so bad, dude. I'm happy that I was born at the beginning of this stuff. Yeah. Okay. Oh man, help them so much. All right, so I'll post that link, guys. And this is the last tech topic I want to talk about real quick. I'm going to share another image real quick. This is a GIF. There it is. So check it out. Boston Dynamics.
Oh,
They're now selling this little robot that I'm showing on the screen. They developed this robot. It's like super cool. You've probably seen it in a video where like you can't knock it down. It's like super stable. It's got some limited functionality, but it can get where it needs to go. So they're selling to any small business now. The price is $74,500. Pretty cool.
oosh.
Oosh. Yeah, no, I'm not going to buy it, but I'll explain it. I'll give you 3 examples here in a bit, what kind of companies would use this. So they're basically saying you're getting the most advanced mobile robot in the world. It's able to go pretty much anywhere a human can, except for where ladders are needed. Whoops. Anyway, his name is Spot, and he is very, very nimble. Its workload is mostly limited right now to surveying and data collection, though. So, but it can be fitted with a range of custom payloads, including sensors and scanners. Where you would find some good use for this is, and where they've actually used it in the past, controversial or not, is bomb squads. They can send Spot in to do some bomb squad work. Coal mining, they can send them into mines. To check for structural stability, check for mineral deposits, and finally, it has been actually used to go to the bottom of the ocean, or bottom. I'm pretty sure it was the bottom of one of the oceans, to scan for oil, to find some oil for the oil rigs. So, really cool. I don't know if I could use it in my life.
No, but dude, how cool is it that there's a robot that can sink to the bottom of the ocean and crawl around on 4 legs and look for... Can you imagine being a sea-dwelling fish and you're like, what in the hell is that thing?
Oh, dude. Yes.
You're like, I've seen... Like, you're like one of those fish that's like got that big glowy orb on its head.
Right.
And you think you're the coolest thing you've ever seen, and then like this freaking like dog robot walks past you on the ocean floor, and you're like, we've seen it all now, Jeff. We've seen it all now. Just
Nemo, check this out.
Yeah.
Oh,
How
man.
awesome is that, man?
That's funny, dude. That's really
where
funny.
technology is so cool to me.
Man,
But
just
yeah.
imagine 10 years from now. It's going to be crazy.
I think the company I work for could probably afford a $74,000 robot, and I think we could just like have it walk around the office and like deliver coffee and snacks and like give people high fives.
Why not,
That'd be
dude?
cool.
That's moral support right there.
Yeah, right?
I love it.
Oh man,
I love
good
it.
stuff. Thanks for that.
Gotta
man.
make it
That's
happen.
good stuff.
Absolutely. Well, that was the last of our tech news, man. Quite a list of news topics today. Very fun.
Yes. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
loved it. All right. Well, we're gonna transition now. We're gonna go into our last segment here. We're gonna talk about some video games. You ready?
Oh, am I ready? Am I ever?
Love it, dude. All right, guys. Be right back. And we're back. That wasn't long.
Such a fast break.
Quick and easy. Fast
You
break.
may
Isn't
ask
that a
your-
candy
you-
bar?
Fast break? Maybe. Yeah, I think you're right. I think you are right. You may wonder, what do the ginger and the beer do during the breaks? The answer is nothing. We come right back.
We just come right back. We laugh and
It's
joke
just-
around at our audience. We make fun of you guys. That's what we
Yeah.
do.
Exactly. All right, man. Video game news. I'm getting excited because I'm excited to play some more video games after this show. So,
Me too.
quick plug here. If you're in the stream, or maybe even if you're listening to the recorded version, check out our video game streams after the show. We do some post-show video game action until the wee hours of the morning every Friday night. So come hang out with us.
Yes,
But we've got
please.
some pretty cool news. So last week we talked about the PlayStation 5. What we did not talk about was the games that were announced at the event. So I think they announced like 25 different video games at the event that all support the next gen console. But I really just want to talk about two of them right now. I don't want to go through too many of them. Number one, this game, I'm not even a fan of this franchise, and I may catch some flack for that, but Star Wars
How dare you?
Squadrons. Okay, well, number one, are you a big Star Wars fan? I don't even know this about you, actually.
Oh, dude, yeah, I grew up with Star Wars, big time.
Okay, all right. Maybe
Oh
you
yeah.
can convert me. Maybe you can get me interested. I would just say I tried watching like the old Star Wars movies like a few years back. Me and Shayna both did, and I legit like fell asleep during them because I was like, I mean, I think I'm just so accustomed to the special effects of the 21st century that like I mean, I don't know. I'm not very good at this kind of stuff, but the effects just were so lame to me and like so old.
Yeah.
I'm sure they were impressive
Yeah.
back in the day, but I don't know. I just couldn't get into it. But I think maybe I should give it another shot. But
Real quick, I mean, I grew up with it. Like it was my first experience with like something that was not normal, right?
yeah.
I was like 5 years old, and my stepdad
Sci-fi.
had me watch it with him, and I was like, this is amazing. I didn't know, right? I didn't know that there was stuff like that, and I got hooked
Yeah.
on it ever since. So I don't know, man. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to go back and appreciate it
I know.
as much.
I
You
made
know?
it to the power through the first few until the effects get like better, but then I know the prequels are less loved than the original trilogy. But all that's besides the point. Star Wars Squadrons. Reese, can you pull up this video, man? Let's pull this video up while we're talking about it.
You want some audio
This-
with this?
Yeah,
You can
sure.
do the
Let's hit 'em
audio.
let's hit 'em with like 15 seconds of audio.
Okay.
I don't want us to get pulled from YouTube. I'm not sure what the copyright laws are on this kind of stuff, but
Here it is.
all right. I'd say that's probably pretty good for the audio. Let's go
Yeah.
ahead and explain for our audio listeners what we're actually seeing here in this video. Um, so as you'd expect, the Star Wars game, this is Squadron, so it's 100% based on flying ships from the franchise. So if you're a fan of the franchise, you get to fly ships like the TIE Fighters, the X-Wings, and a lot more. I mean, I think there's like, I don't remember how many different ships it said you could actually play as. But you're essentially flying around. You're in a cockpit view. You've got all your instruments around you. You can see like your shields. You can see different information about your ship. You're flying in the cockpit. You're chasing down enemy ships, and there's different game modes. So the game mode that we just showed, you essentially have objectives. You have your own fleet of ships behind you. The enemy has their fleet of ships, and you have to take out the front lines first, then take out some bigger ships, and then take out like the captain ships in the very back, disable their shields and things like that to remove them from the battlefield and eventually win. So it's a mix of defense and also attack, and it's very strategy based. But number one, the graphics just look amazing. Like sitting in that cockpit and seeing all those different pieces of information around you looks incredible. And you can play the entire game in VR. So I know this is up your alley. Reese, how excited are you to play? How excited are you to sit in a cockpit of a TIE fighter and play that game in VR?
Oh, dude, I'm so excited. I'm through the roof on this one, dude. You know I play No Man's Sky, right? So No Man's Sky is basically just like knockoff Star Wars, but now I get real Star Wars. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, man. So
Yes.
this is only $40. It's available on all platforms: Xbox, PS5 when it comes out, PlayStation. Or wait, I said PlayStation, PC. And the coolest thing about this is that it's got full support of a HOTAS setup, and HOTAS stands for hands-on throttle and stick. So if you've got a joystick setup with your buttons around the joystick, and you wanna put yourself fully immersed in the Star Wars universe, you can put your VR goggles on, you can set up your joystick, and you can fly these spaceships around and just start shooting people down. I mean, it looks
Nice.
amazing. Like not even being a huge fan of the franchise, I literally am excited to just play this game on my own. It just looks amazing.
Yeah, dude. Really excited about this. I can't wait. I can't wait, man.
Yeah. I mean, there's ship customization, there's character customization. All around, it just looks awesome.
Sign me up. The only other thing I want to do is jump out of the cockpit with a lightsaber and jump on somebody else's ship.
Oh, that'd be sweet. That'd be
Yeah,
sweet.
they probably won't do that, though. That's
Power
too much.
move. That's your ultimate ability.
Ultimate.
Yeah, yeah. So, the last thing that we got to talk about is The Last of Us Part 2. So, the Beard and I were chatting before this stream, and neither of us are really into The Last of Us games, and I'm sure we might catch some flack for that, but neither of us have played the first Last of Us game. But as we were looking into this game, number one, we just wanted to talk about this game is getting 100 out of 100 reviews from site after site after site. It released today. It's coming to us from Naughty Dog. Those are the makers of like Crash Bandicoot, like way back in the day. And just number one, the graphics look insane. Like the level of detail that they're showing in these gameplay videos is incredible. And what they're using is the PlayStation 5's engine and performance to display that gameplay footage. And unfortunately, it's a PlayStation exclusive. So if you're an Xbox player or even PC, unless somebody legally makes a port, then I don't think that we're going to be getting to play that.
Jeez. That's a bummer, man. That's such a bummer. Because we looked at it before this, and yeah, I've never played them before. But man, these graphics look so good. So good. I've never seen it look that good before. So, yeah, definitely want to check that out.
Yeah, for sure. I want to read a text, actually. I was texting with one of my buddies at work who's played the game, and he said, I told him, I was like, I've never played the game before, and he was like, if you sit and soak up the story, it's one of the best. Like, if you sit there and you and your wife play it and get immersed into the characters and story, it's so hard-hitting. He actually said, honestly, if I ever have a daughter, I would name her after one of the two characters. So he said The game just cuts so deep if you let it. So I guess that's one of the arguments. I've never really been into the story modes of video games. I think my attention span's a little bit too short. I like to just jump in and get into the action. But if that's up your alley, then it sounds like, and I know Reese, you tend to get kind of immersed into the stories of games. So it sounds like something you might enjoy.
Oh, I would definitely enjoy this. You know, some games I really dive in on, some I don't. You know, but if it's that good, I mean, I would probably love it. I would probably love it, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. So before we close out the segment, I just want to say, let us know what you guys think. I mean, are you downloading? Are you picking up The Last of Us Part 2? And will you pick up Star Wars Squadrons when it comes out? And are you going to play in VR? Like, I'm excited to see kind of, what people gravitate towards. Is it the VR? Is it, it is crossplay too. So you get to play against people who are using a controller versus people who are using a joystick and a headset and all that good stuff. So excited to see how that goes. So let us know.
Yeah, let us know. And are you going to buy some solar panels? I don't want to know. I kind of want to know that too. just curious.
Bringing it back.
Bringing it back. So, that brings us to the end of our podcast, guys. Thank you so much for sticking around. Just real quick, I just want to say again, if you guys really, want to help us out and support, I think the best way is probably to check us out on Apple Podcasts and drop us a 5-star and give us a review. That'd be awesome. But of course, any other podcast player works fine. Check us out on Google. Good job, AJ, for getting us on Google. Woo woo, love it. Drop a follow on Twitch, like and subscribe on YouTube. We appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for being our friends, hanging out with us, listening to us, our little shenanigans, and hopefully hopefully we've taught you something today. We've provided some information that is valuable to you. This experience in itself is valuable to us, so we'll keep doing it.
Yes, absolutely. I mirror everything he just said. Thank you guys so much for your support. And we look forward to seeing you guys next week.
All right, guys. Have a good one. We're going to transition, and we're going to play some more Valorant. So stick around if you want that.
Yes, come watch. It's so much fun.
Woo!
All
Be right
right.
back.
See ya.